What's going on, folks? It's your boy Long Beach Joe, and I am back at it again. I'm back at it again, man. Listen, we got quite a bit to discuss, okay? I know I'm starting a little bit later than norm, but here we are having a good old time. We're going to be talking about the Jets. We're going to be discussing some things that have been going on, man. Whoa. Jets played pretty sloppy against the Giants. That did not look very good, okay? We're going to be talking about that. We're also going to be talking about some trades that the Jets have made. There's rumors swirling about, that the Jets are looking to make a trade for a wide receiver, okay? Val, is that you?
Yes, sir.
Hold on a second. Let me get it started. I already know what time it is. Hold on, okay? Listen, so we got a lot to discuss. We got a lot of things happening. We're going to be talking about it all tonight, okay? Also, all right, upcoming game against the Eagles, final preseason game. Some of these guys got to do something or they're going to be up out of here, okay? There's some guys holding on. They're going to have to hold on pretty tight because it's going to be a rough ride into the end. So we got a lot to discuss. So let me go ahead and get into it. Listen, I'm the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with you folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show. Okay? I truly do. I really, really do. Everybody that hits me up, whether you want to argue with me about a take, okay, or whether you want to have, you just tell me like a lot of people do, Joe, I love the content, all right? Keep it going. I want to thank y'all for that. I'm also on Twitter as well, all right? Y'all going to have to let it go. I'm going to call it Twitter. Please let that go. Don't message me saying, Joe, it's not Twitter. I don't want to hear it, all right? I respect you. I'm going to keep calling it Twitter. Going over to Twitter, all right, type in, okay, at The Long Beach Joe, at The Long Beach Joe on Twitter, okay? Follow me. I'll follow you right back, and let's have a discussion. Let's go back and forth, okay? I try to have positive discussions on there. I do, okay? A lot of people don't want to have positive discussion. They just want to yell. So if you want to yell, then, okay, we can yell, all right? But I try to have positive discussions, okay? So come on over and join, say what's up to your boy, and get involved with what I'm doing here. Also, hey, for those of you that do not know, we are live on YouTube, okay? We listen to the content. We watch the content on YouTube. We do live streams here, and we have a lot of fun, okay? So if you want to get involved with what I'm doing here, if you want to, check out the shows live, come on over to YouTube, okay? Type in Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube, all right? Subscribe to the channel. And hit that notification bell so when I post content, you'll be in the know, okay? Keep in mind, when you come over here, okay, you're going to have to deal with some people, okay? I call my chat, okay? The people you're going to have to deal with the chat, savages. You want to know why? Because they're savage, okay? They are savage, all right? Salutes to all the savages in the chat. I see you, Christopher Phillips, salutes. Outlaw, okay? ETC, I see you in the building. Salutes. All right. Salutes to everybody. Okay. Salutes and respect. Okay. So, yeah, no one's safe. All right. If they don't like my take, they let me know. Trust me. They let me know. Okay. If they don't like your take, they're going to let you know as well. Okay. So it ain't me. Okay. It's them. All right. I'll let them do what they need to do. Okay. So with all that put out there and said, we're going to start and talk about the New York Jets here. All right, a lot of things going on. First, we're going to start off with this Giants game really quickly. Very sloppy game against the Giants. I'm talking very sloppy. The offense looked sloppy. The passing game looked pretty sloppy. Justin Fields, I think he was 1 for 5, 4 yards. He had 1 rush for 5 yards. He only stayed in 2 drives, okay? Only in 2 drives. But things didn't looking good. Things weren't looking too good in the passing game, okay? Still, him and Garrett Wilson, Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson, they haven't connected yet. Okay, I'm not going crazy about this at all. This is just preseason. So it's not a big deal to me. But, I'm just stating the news here, stating the facts of what happens, okay? Also, the Jets running game, I will tell you, did look solid, right? The Jets running game looked solid. Braylon Allen looked good, 7 carries, 34 yards. He had 11 yards rushing. Nguanu, he looked really good. He had a big return for us early in the game that got the Jets almost to midfield. He also ran the ball 6 times for 31 yards. Breece Hall looked solid, 7 carries for 26 yards. He had a 12-yard run that looked really good. Edwards looked good too. He actually got into the game a little bit later into the game, but he still, was able to make some plays. He had a catch in the game too that looked really, really, really good. So the running back room, came out and did their thing. The Jets running game looked solid, but the passing game still, still trying to move and shake here, still trying to find that rhythm and get it rolling. All right. Wide receivers. Boy, in that game, they were looking a little shaky, baby. They was looking a little shaky, okay? There was some drops by Arian Smith, even though he was able to rebound from that and get 2 catches for 39 yards. Brandon Smith, who's actually looked really good. Like, he's a guy that is pushing to make the roster. Real talk. No lies. He's pushing to make the roster. 5 catches, 48 yards. Skinner had a beautiful, beautiful one-handed TD. Well, he brought it in with one hand. TD catch in the right corner, in the right back corner of the end zone. I thought he looked really, really good. So Skinner looked solid. 4 catches, 48 yards. I like that. I don't know what's going to happen with him going forward, but he looked pretty good. Looked pretty good. The Jets defense was a little shaky. They started off the game, gave up an 80-yard bomb. Wow. 80-yard catch and throw early. Russell Wilson dropped back, saw a Giants wide receiver breaking open, and he just launched that thing up. And, one of the Jets cornerbacks was passing off to Cisco. It was Stiggers that was passing off the coverage to Andre Cisco. Cisco stumbled on coverage as well, and the Giants wide receiver just broke open. He had caught the ball, and actually a Jets defender was able to catch him at the 1, but it didn't matter. They punched that in for a touchdown. But, Stiggers did end up getting an interception. Dean Clark looked okay. He had 6 tackles, 1 sack, and an interception as well. So Stiggers got the interception later on in the game after kind of like a lack of miscommunication between the Giants quarterback and wide receiver that was running around. So Folk was also 2 for 2. McNamara looked pretty good too with 6 punts. So that Giants game looked a little sloppy. Hopefully, Jets continue to move and rebound from that situation. But as we continue forward here, man, the Jets are in a situation. They've made some trades, baby. They've made some trades, okay? The Browns sent Juwan Briggs to the New York Jets for sent Briggs and a 2026 7th-round pick to the Jets for a 2026 6th-round pick. Briggs is coming in here, defensive tackle. That's adding some more guys to this defensive front. There's been a lot of talk about depth being a question mark here. And so the Jets are trying to beef up at that position. Okay, we know that Coward's hurt. There's some question marks about Nandi. So we'll see. The Jets also added Harrison Phillips as well from the Vikings. The Vikings sent Harrison Phillips and a 2027 7th-round pick to the Jets for a 2026 6th-round pick and a 2027 6th-round pick. So that's also pending a physical for Phillips as well. So it's interesting. And also with this deal, right, the Vikings agreed to pay half of Phillips' $7.4 million salary this season. So the Jets are getting him, for $3.7 million on the books. So, moves is moves. All right. Jets beefing up the defensive line, trying to get the depth. A lot of people talking about Harrison being kind of a plug-and-play starter alongside Quinnen Williams. So we're going to see what happens. There's also a lot of talk about the New York Jets trading for a wide receiver as well. There's talks about that they are in the market. There's rumors swirling that, calls are being made. And there's a couple guys out there. Listen, I've been talking about Terry McLaurin for I don't know how long. All right. I've been talking about it. He's set to, in his final year of his deal, he wants, a new deal. He wants to get things figured out. Where they're at in Washington, not interested. So he's looking to, possibly move forward. And I think the Jets would be a great place for him to come to. Yes, he's 29. Yes, I know that. But if you get him a 2-year deal, maybe a 3-year deal at the right numbers, this is a guy, man, that has had 5 consecutive 1,000-yard receiving seasons. How do you pass up on that? Especially when you don't have a number 2 wide receiver. Nothing. Don't try to sell me on Allen Lazard. He is trash. There's big questions over there. Xavier Gibson, he's just a special teams guy. He hasn't shown you that he could be a number 2. The only guy out there viable that's a proven weapon at wide receiver that we have here is Garrett Wilson. I like Arian Smith, but he's a young guy, man. Where's your ipto facto number 2? You ain't got it. There's also a lot of talk about Juwan Jennings. Some Jets fans want him. I know that he's a guy that is, made us think about wanting a new deal as well, even though he just signed one recently. He's saying his production has outgrown that deal, and he wants more. Romeo Doubs is another guy as well with the Packers. He's a guy that might actually get cut by the Packers. There's talks about that because that Packers wide receiver room is pretty heavy. Alec Pierce as well from the Colts. People are talking about him too, being a guy that the New York Jets could target to bring into the building. There's also been talk about Amari Cooper, all kinds of things. So we're going to be talking about that because rumors are swirling. Also, Aaron Glenn did a press conference, and he talked about this upcoming game against the Eagles. We're going to get to the callers next. And he talked about something else as well, the running back situation, right? We know we got 3 backs. And he talked about the Jets are going to use all 3 backs this season. I want you folks to hear this and give it a listen, all right? Here he goes.
You talk about the running game. We know what Brees can do, and he can be used a lot of ways. What have you seen from Braylon? And I think he might still be the youngest guy in the league. Like, do you ever think about that, what this guy could be?
It's crazy. A grown man, 240 pounds. That's the youngest guy in the league. And I think he's shown exactly who he can be when it comes to the running game. I can't just say off the top of my head like how many yards he's average per play, but I think it's up there for the most part. So listen, we have like 3 good running backs, and I keep saying that. And listen, they all have different skill sets that we're going to utilize. And that does not mean I'm trading Brees. Okay? Does not. So I'm going to say that right now. I just like having 3 good guys. Hell, I wish I had more. But we don't. But listen, yeah.
Boom. Okay? So he let it be known. That doesn't mean he's trading Brees. Okay? They're going to utilize all 3 of their backs. Again, this is going to be clearly a very run-focused offense. And using 3 backs, that type of system, and again, we'll get to the callers next, that's not something new. We've seen like multiple teams be able to utilize that 3-back system and be very successful running the football in the NFL. The first one that comes off the top of my head is the 49ers. The 49ers consistently do that. The 49ers have had guys that are undrafted rookie free agents come in and be really, really good running backs for them and produce big for them. So within that system, right? So the utilization of 3 backs running the football effectively, I think, is going to be huge, especially when you look at, again, I think that Brees Hall is also going to be used a lot in the passing game. So, you're going to have to give other guys, chances in their time as well in the offense because you don't want to burn Brees out. Because Brees, I think, is going to get quite a bit of snaps this year, especially if the offense continues to, go forward with the personnel that we have. Because honestly, Brees Hall might be our second best wide receiver on this football team. No lie. No lie. Like he might actually have the second best set of hands, right? He might be the second best friend to our quarterback outside of Garrett Wilson. Real talk. And I want to talk to people about that tonight. So I'm excited about that. I was also, he kept it straightforward. That does not mean that I'm trading Brees Hall. Okay. There's been a lot of talk about that. I didn't think that the Jets would do it. And, I think that kind of puts things to bed there. So we'll see as things continue forward. I'm hyped. I'm excited. Cannot wait to talk to you folks tonight. Again, salutes to everybody. Please give the stream a thumbs up no matter where you're at. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. And also, getting those comments. Salutes to all the Savages in the building. We'll get to everybody tonight. If I miss your call, I will call you back. Okay? So no issues whatsoever there. So first, we're going to get to Val. Okay, we're getting to the callers. We're going to come on over to Val. I know he's got a lot to say. Listen, let me put some respect on Val's name before we get into the call. I just want to let y'all know, Val, this man is a savage. Okay, Val is in the building. Salutes to you, Val. All right. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. Listen, Val, give me your thoughts, man. There's a lot of talks about the New York Jets right now, swirling, talking about trades. What are your thoughts about the possibilities of the Jets trading for a wide receiver? And is there a guy out there that you want to see them make the move for?
Salute, Joe. Salute to the Savages, man. And I salute to you as well, too, man. And everybody hitting like to subscribe to Joe, man. And like I said, man, I do feel like we do need to get that wide receiver, too, out there, man, because, we see a lot of our receivers actually dropping the ball. It's not, like, really flowing, which is, again, it is preseason and stuff, but you really want to, make sure you're going into the season with players that are actually some playmakers and stuff. And to answer your question, who do I specifically want? I'm not too sure of right now, to be honest with you, but I do like the Raiders guide out. I heard this a little bit earlier on one of the a Jets content creator and said that he was saying Myers is somebody that's looking for a new contract, and he's only 26 or 28, I believe. So he's around that age, and he never really drops the ball as much, and he's very productive, and he's a great number two that just comes in and does his job. And you're not going to get the diva of a wide receiver and stuff like that be always asking for the ball. Like, he's going to come and do his job, and I feel like that's somebody that we should actually trade for.
I think you're talking about I think it's Jacoby Myers.
Jacoby Myers, yes, Jacoby Myers. That used to be on the Patriots.
Yeah. There's so many guys out there. I know people are talking about he's a guy you can throw in there too. I know some people have kind of mentioned like Juwan Jennings. I'm big on Terry McLaurin. I don't understand why. I don't know why there's a lot of Jets fans that are just like looking elsewhere. They're kind of turning their heads to the left. Ooh, who could we trade for? I don't know. And it's like, bro, this guy's out here. He's had 5,000-yard seasons consecutively. Okay, 38 touchdowns in his career. It's like, what is going on? Why not go out and get this guy that can give you at least 2 to 3 more years of solid play out there at wide receiver? We know his production in this league. Why not go grab him, right? I mean, Val, what are your thoughts about that? Would you have an issue with the Jets going out and grabbing Terry?
No, I wouldn't have no problem about that, because like I said before, like, even though I did rebuttal and said, I see why they're not going to do it, because like this is more like a retooling year and stuff, and they're going to actually spend next year. But I just feel like, if you're going to go out and go and get him, listen, we're trying to make a statement that we're trying to get to the playoffs. If you go out and get him, because we're not just trying to retool, we're not just trying to not say throw away the season, but get players in here that's going to fit the culture and set your culture, and then next year you get the guys that this is basically like the tryout year, like I told you before, as the 2 times that we did talk on the phone. This is basically like a tryout year to see who's going to fit this culture going forward, and who's not. Then we get rid of them, and then we, they're going to spend a lot of money next season. But there's a lot of players that are still on the book, so that's probably why they're being kind of like, cautious of who they're going to, extend and who they're going to like move forward with and stuff. But if you're going to go and get him, I'm telling you right now, you're making a statement that, listen, we're not playing around. We're trying to win. And for Aaron Glenn's sake, I really want them to actually go out there and get that number 2 wide receiver, or the best receiver that you could actually get, because I don't want him, because you know how New York is, man. Like, you have a bad season, yes, everybody's praising Aaron Glenn. They're like, yes, we love what Aaron Glenn is saying. But, dog, listen, if the season is not going well, they're going to be like, oh, he has all the answers, but the production is not showing. You know what I'm saying? So I already know that's going to come down the line. I just hope that everybody knows this is more of a retooling season, that please don't have no big expectations that we're going to probably go to the Super Bowl or something like that. But if we do, I will be more than happy. You know what I'm saying? But I'm trying not to get my hopes up or anything like that, because I already know what type of season this is. But I really want us to actually go to the playoffs this season. Yeah, but like I said, it's a 7 to 8 game window for me.
Yeah, here's the thing though, and I hear what you're saying. When you talk about New York and you talk about, the pressure that's there, it's tough to ask Jets fans, and I'm not saying I'm one of them, but I understand the Jets fans that are saying, hey, listen, when is the retooling going to turn into W's? You feel me? Like, why are we constantly retooling? Like, when are we gonna have enough tools? You feel me?
Right.
You keep asking me for the hammer every year for Christmas. I give it to you, and then you never seem to be able to find it when it comes time to actually, put some nails in the wall. So that's the question is like, when are you guys gonna put something together that is a winner? And I think that's what is gonna be a big thing here when you talked about, asking for more patience from Jets fans. And I think that if you go get McLaurin, right? If you go get him, I don't think that it's saying you're going to win a Super Bowl this year, but I do think that it says, hey, we're putting ourselves in the driver's seat to try to push and, get ourselves at least to the playoffs, or we're making we're getting the best guy. We're getting the guy that we know is going to be able to come in here and make plays and handle business, point blank, period. That's what you're doing. And I'm not saying, going to get some other guy, is going to help you out. But that guy, McLaurin, to me, is the best, guy that is available as we know of right now, for a trade that we're looking at. He's a guy that's on the top of a lot of people's list. And, again, for good reason. We see, right? We've seen the production. So I look at it like, hey, if you're trying to get this, and I brought this up,
Joe, they're saying your mic is low, by the way.
Oh, can you? My mic shouldn't be low. Hopefully, everybody can hear me. I know hopefully, maybe you need to turn it up. Let me know, folks, if my mic is still good or if it's still low now. It should be up high and good. Thank you for that, Val. Thank y'all for letting me know. Let me know. No, so the deal is that if you go get a guy like that, you're putting yourself in a position to really be successful here in this league. And like I talked about, to really win the big one, if we're going to do that in some point in these next couple years, bro, you got to start getting a taste of the playoffs, because that atmosphere is completely different than the regular season. So you got to start putting something together to get there now, bro. Look, I'm not a guy saying, hey, let's go load up on a bunch of guys. That's not, because we tried that. We just tried that with Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. And, we just did that, right? We went and got a bunch of pieces. I'm not saying load up with free agents. I'm just saying, hey, let's get a guy at a spot so that we can figure out, can we go forward with this squad? Do we have the pieces to at least get to the playoffs or really make a run to make it interesting and possibly make the playoffs? Are we that team? And also, you want to make sure you get a viable number 2 in here, because I want to figure out who Justin Fields is, dog. I want to figure it out. Yeah, that's what I want to figure it out, dog. I want to know. I don't want to
give him some weapons, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying
exactly.
That
go ahead.
I want to at least give him a chance, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to just throw him out there with a bunch of guys that are trying to make a team. You know what I'm saying? I want to get some players that are actually capable of doing what they're supposed to do and stuff like that. But everybody, it just seems like it's like a tryout in a way. You know what I'm saying? But I just really want to get some players that are going to actually give him a chance, because this man has been dealt wrong in certain scenarios. Yes, he's not the best quarterback, but, man, he has a lot of talent. He has a lot of untappable talent that, that he could that hopefully this regime could tap into and, build around him. But I really want to build around him in the right way. But so far, we got Garrett Wilson for him, and I just don't trust Allen Lazard, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I don't think anybody does. I don't think anybody trusts Allen Lazard, and I'm not shocked about that. I think Allen Lazard sucks. And don't talk to me about don't talk to me about, well, he didn't, Aaron Rodgers this, and he should stay with Aaron Rodgers. He had Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers last year was fully healthy, and he still sucked. He was still dropping footballs. He was still not where he was supposed to be within the offense. That's why we chased after Devontae Adams, because Allen Lazard wasn't the guy. And we all saw that. And so that's what brought Devontae Adams here. That's why they were just panicking trying to make trades, because he never turned out to be the guy that we thought that we were getting when we signed him in free agency. So don't sell me that. But that's the thing, is why I'm saying, hey, let's get, Justin Fields another real weapon here so that we can figure out who he is, because I think he's on a 2-year deal, bruh. So if he does turn it around, let's say he becomes our Geno Smith, right? Where Geno Smith went to the Seahawks and was their guy for a couple years, or our Ryan Tannehill, right? Ryan Tannehill for years was thought of, he's a bust. He's not really going to turn things around. He's not that good. And then he went to Tennessee, and things changed and turned around in Tennessee, where he was their franchise quarterback for a couple years and took them some places. What if he's our Ryan Tannehill? I need to know, bruh. Like, I need to know. And I understand, like, giving up draft capital, and that's where I want to go next with you, Val. I don't have a problem with the Jets giving up a third-round pick and a fourth. You know, and rolling that die. I don't have a problem with the Jets doing that. I really don't, because there's other ways that we could utilize other capital to gain other capital back. We could trade down in the draft, but sitting here and constantly stacking draft capital and not putting together something that wins, especially when you got answers out there, bro, you're just wasting your time. That's my devil's advocate argument for that. What are your thoughts about that, Val? If the Jets do trade for Terry, what is the most you'd want to see them give up to grab him?
Absolutely, I would give up a third. I mean, for a third, I mean, look, we tried to get Corley last year in the third, and he's turning out as a bust right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad because I don't know what's going on with him, but I really don't know, man. I just hope that we could just turn it around and hopefully he could get the ball and bring up some value so we could possibly move him or he could fit the scheme and the team and stuff like that. But to answer your question, I just really feel like I would definitely give up a third round pick for him and stuff, because like I said, this is a guy that has thousands of yard seasons and stuff, and he balled out, man. I mean, that team was legitimate, and I understand he has a great quarterback as well too, but I mean, he was dealt with a lot of bad quarterbacks, and he still did what he did, And it's similar to what Garrett Wilson was doing, you know what I'm saying, with a whole bunch of bad quarterbacks and stuff. But it's a little different for Garrett Wilson. He was dealing with quarterbacks every single week, you know what I'm saying? So it was a change for him. So that's why he deserved the money that he got. But I absolutely agree with you that, I would definitely trade a third for him. I mean, and extend him. And, because the thing is, man, like, I just feel like we always lacked a quarterback and we always lacked two solid wide receivers. And when we definitely had that with Eric Decker and Brandon Marshall, and we had Ryan Fitzpatrick, I'm just like, man, we was rolling. I've never seen an offense like that in a while. Like, we haven't had that type of offense since 2016, basically, And we've still been searching for it. And we're here in 2025, and we almost made the playoffs, but we didn't make the playoffs thanks to Rex Ryan and Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah.
In the show, running the ball and fourth down, you know what I'm saying, and crushing our dreams. And then, of course, the Steelers won their game, and they went to the playoffs. But other than that, but yeah, we definitely need to. I would definitely do it, Joe. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I would like to make the move too. Now, quickly, the Jets also made other trades as well, getting Briggs and Phillips into the building. What are your thoughts about the Jets beefing up their defensive line? I mean, how do you feel about that? A lot of people were sold on Nandi and Coward. We know Coward's dealing with an injury. We'll see what happens going forward with that. A lot of people not sold on Nandi. What are your thoughts about the Jets going out and making the trades for these two defensive tackles, getting them in the building?
I mean, one of the players, I can't even name his Hendrick, I believe his name is.
Harrison Phillips. It's Harrison Phillips and then Briggs. Jawan Briggs.
Yeah, he's literally like, Aaron Glenn got first hand of him, and I'm pretty sure he knows that he's that guy because, of course, he was in his division, and of course, he was in his conference as well, too.
Yep,
so,
Phillips.
He has first hand.
Yep, in NFC North. Yes, sir. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, with the Vikings, and, so Phillips is basically, somebody that he scouted and probably that they always wanted to bring in. And the fact that they got him, and he's a veteran and he could definitely fill up those gaps because, man, oh, man. I mean, even though it wasn't the starters that was in on the defensive end, we was getting killed with the screen games, man. Like, I was just like, what is going on, man? With the Giants game, it was a terrible game. I can't even lie, but we did have some bright spots as well too. Not to get too off topic and stuff, but yeah, we was definitely getting killed, and they was running the ball on us. We wasn't stopping. And like I said, again, this is not the starters or anything like that, but you just want to make sure you have enough depth, to stop the running and just to help the injuries because Aaron Glenn dealt with a lot of injuries last year with the Lions. So, he just want to make sure he has enough talent out there. So, just in case anybody does go down or tweak an ankle or anything that ever happens, knocking on wood, that they could actually, have enough depth that they could trust their backup to go in there and respond to, whoever is on the other side, you know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to the running game. So we're definitely going to be stuffing those runs for sure.
Yeah, and that's huge. We saw last season. Speaking about the running game, that's something a lot of
Oh my.
Phillips could definitely help. The Jets were getting ran on crazy last season.
Oh my
Crazy.
God.
How many games, Val, did we sit here and watch, and it was like the Niners game they ran on us? I remember we were getting ran on. It was crazy. The against Denver they ran on us. We got ran on. Tennessee was running crazy on us before the half, and then even after the half, we were getting up big plays. This Jets defensive front was getting ran on like wildfire. We played the Bills one week, and they literally were handing the ball off to their backup running back, and it was like 5 yards before he would even get breathed on by a Jets defensive player. Like, it was so crazy to me watching that, and everybody was, because our defense didn't turn out, what we thought it was going to be last season. It kind of faltered at times, but definitely getting ran on the way that we were getting ran on was wild. But yeah, so Phillips is going to be in this building. He's going to help us there. And again, a lot of people talking about that he's going to be the guy to be on the other side of Quentin Williams and be literally a plug-and-play starter here. So I thought that those are good moves for us to continue to bolster our defensive front, especially with the struggles that we've had in the past. Now, going on to what we've seen, Val, right? Sloppy game against the Giants. There's been a lot of people that are questioning Justin Fields and are questioning, questioning what's going on with him. You know what I'm saying? Questioning where they're starting to wonder, like, can he be that guy? Do you have questions about Justin Fields from what you've seen so far this preseason from him?
I wouldn't panic. I would not panic. Like I said, they didn't open up. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, there was a couple of those drives, Joe, that Justin Fields could have took the ball from the running back and ran to the right side and probably would have scored a touchdown.
Okay.
So they're not opening the play, but I mean, you could go back and look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, man, had he just did an RPO and took the ball and ran with it, he would have been gone, literally. I mean, it's been like that, but it's just like, you got to understand sometimes too, like, this is preseason. They're not going to show all their cards out there. And as we could see from this regime, they do not, leak out information. They do not leak out anything. So they're very tight-knit and very quiet of how they go about, their strategy of how they're going to move forward. Just like how today, how everybody was like, oh, yeah, there was a report that they're looking for wide receivers, and then, boom, it was the complete opposite, that they was looking for defensive tackles. So we just don't know. But yeah. I do want to see. For me, I did want to see Justin Fields a little bit more out there, probably like 3 or 4 drives, because even Russell Wilson, he got a little bit more drives as well too. And because I just want him to get that chemistry. You was talking about it earlier, that you want that chemistry with Garrett Wilson and Justin Fields to get it going. From the start of right now. And I did see the practice that they was, throwing the ball to each other and everything, but I just want to see that consistently on the field as well too. But I do like, the running plays, it definitely looks, much better than what it was last year, but it just seemed like, I would say like basic plays in a way, that we're not trying to give up too many, plays out there and stuff. But I will say that, because they're not trying to really roll out Justin Fields out there, because we don't want to risk no injury when it comes to quarterback, because again, Tyrod Taylor is not there. So, you just want to be cautious and just make sure, that you give him, again, this is the new scheme for him as well too. So you don't want to do too much, you know what I'm saying? You just want to make sure he gets healthy and just go about the season, and hopefully Tyrod Taylor can come back and, back him up and stuff. So then, just in case Justin Fields doesn't do well, then we got Tyrod Taylor to just fill in that gap and stuff. So yeah, I would say that, but don't panic too much.
Yeah, listen, I'm right there with you, and I'm Tyrod Taylor. I'm hoping, is good before the season starts, and if he isn't, I think this backup quarterback, competition that we've been seeing with, Martinez and Cook, that starts to have more of an emphasis. Okay, and I've been talking about that for a minute. Ever since that knee scope, stuff has been talked about. Like, if he's not ready for week 1, somebody's going to have to be there to back up, Justin Fields. And to this point, the Jets haven't gone out and grabbed some veteran guy. So I think they're going to roll with, at this point, one of these guys that they've had. And I'm telling you, Martinez has looked really good. Now, he threw a stupid interception across his body going to the right sideline. He should have never did. But Martinez has been the guy taking deep shots. He's been the guy taking off with the football running. He already seems to have a really good command of this offense from everything that we've seen from him. So, and Cook is not bad either. Cook looks really good too. I don't think the Jets will carry 3 quarterbacks. So whoever doesn't make the active roster, I think they're going to try to stash that guy on the practice squad because Cook does have some ability as well. We're seeing him like he gets the ball out of his hands quickly. He's a guy, that can decipher things very quickly, things going on in front of him. So I'm liking what I'm seeing from both of them, but I think that Martinez is a little bit of a ways ahead as of right now. But Justin Fields, when I look at this situation, the passing game, I expected this because this is a brand new offense. I expected the passing game to be like this because you're still trying to learn your timing. You're still trying to learn about where you're supposed to be. Guys are still trying to figure out how to get into their routes, get strong, and then get rolling. But, I don't have questions because I don't think they're rolling out, just like you said, I don't think they're rolling out everything within this offense because why would they? It's preseason. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to come out with some regular vanilla stuff, just go out there and look solid. I thought against the Packers, he looked pretty good. Like, he was getting the ball out of his hands quickly. But I know that there's people now that are looking, especially after kind of the sloppy play that we saw from the offense against the Giants, and they're like, hey, he's not taking any deep shots. He's not throwing the ball 40 yards down the field. It's like, bruh, that's not always there,
Right.
I tell people all the time, man, and we'll get to another question after this. Bro, I watch Alex Smith go out there and dice people up. He wasn't throwing the ball 40 and 50 yards down the field every drive. He wasn't.
Absolutely not.
Alex Smith kept things, 1 to 8 yards in front of him. He's throwing quick dimes, getting the ball out, deciphering quickly. And guess what? The Chiefs were a really pretty good offense under him. So as long as we continue to move those chains and get things rolling, and again, from everything that we're hearing, right? Everything that we're hearing and even things that we're seeing, this is going to be a very run-focused offense, okay? Aaron Glenn came out and said they will use all 3 of their backs this year. All 3. They're going to use all 3 of them. What that tells you? They're going to run the football a lot.
Absolutely.
Okay? You look at the Lions. The Lions ran the football a lot. Okay? So they're not going to play. Give me your thoughts, Val. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, when it comes to the not to cut you off, but when it comes to that 4th and 1, they're not even playing. They're not hesitating. They're not thinking about it. Like, they put Brandon Allen out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got their power back out there.
Yep.
So it's not even like, oh, yeah, let's try Breece Hall. It's not indecisiveness. Like, they already know what their game plan is. They already know how they're going to attack it. And they don't just play around. Like, they know exactly Brandon Allen is not going to be that power back that's going to get us those yards and stuff when we need it. And Garrett Wilson is going to be that finesse guy, to extend the yards as much as possible and stuff. And, yeah, and then you got Izzy back there, man. He's actually good as well, too, man. And, he has some untapped potential that we haven't really seen like that either. And shout out to him with that IQ that, he did against the Packers. It wasn't much talked about, but it definitely did go viral of how Justin Fields scored that touchdown and stuff. So that was actually smart by him as well, too. And that was just savvy for a second-year, pro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Listen, man. There's a lot of things going on. We also heard Glenn come out and say that he's that just because they're using 3 backs doesn't mean they're going to trade Breece. All right. So I think that closed the door on that. But Val, what are your thoughts, man? Eagles, Jets, final preseason game. Is there a player that you think, man, really needs to do something in this game to have a chance to make the roster? Like, who do you think it is that's just on the bubble, and this is it? If they don't do something here, they're going to be gone.
Corley, man, and Rutgers as well too. I got 2 players, Corley and Rutgers.
Jeremy Rucker, you think Jeremy Rucker is gonna get cut if he don't do something in this game?
I mean, his name has been on the cusp right now because there's other tight ends that's actually doing a lot more than what he's doing. Because the only thing that he has over the other, I would say, tight ends is basically blocking. But other than that, is really hasn't been too much that been coming from his side. And again, he's been on a team for like 3 or 4 years, so they will probably cut him. And Corley's another person that I'm just like, man, he's supposed to be the Yak King. He's the person that they text. They was like, we must get that guy. Like, this is the guy that we must get. They was trying to compare him to Debo, and it's just like this man has been off the face of the earth, man, when it comes to this team. I just haven't seen anything. So that's the person that I really need to see. And I also want to say shout out to the cornerbacks too. They this past game, even though it wasn't pretty, but they definitely got gritty when it comes to tackling. They showed that, and I think his name is Moore. Moore could tackle, and it was a one-on-one situation at the goal line. He tackled the running back down, and he couldn't even get a yard. So shout out to some of these quarterbacks, cornerbacks as well too. And real quick, how did you like the offensive line as well too? How you feel like they did against the Giants? I really wanted to ask you that as well too.
I mean, they weren't horrible. They were much better in the running game. They were all right. I mean, the Giants do have a really good front. Like, I think people have to keep that in mind. There was pressure on Justin Fields, but I mean, it wasn't like a jailbreak like we saw last year. Like when I assess like our play and our players, I do assess the opposing talent as well. Like, it's tough to be like, oh well, our offensive line is trash if you facing like, you know, like the Bucs old pass rush, JPP and Shaq Barrett. It's like, no, they're not trash, but they're gonna give up something. You know, if you facing like the Niners with Joey Bosa with Bosa and like those guys over there, like, you're gonna give up something. But as long as it's not a jailbreak, you know, you're not getting destroyed every single play, I think you're okay. So there was some pressure on Justin Fields. I thought they did better in the running game, but I didn't think they were horrible. They could be better, but they weren't horrible. What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. I feel like they actually did good, you know, to a certain extent. I did see the pressure when it came to Justin Fields. As soon as he got the ball, it was just like they was automatically right there. So he had to jump up to try to throw it to Breece Hall. I'm pretty sure you remember that play. And he kind of
high snap
him
from Myers, yep.
Yeah, so it was just like, you know, he really couldn't get in rhythm and stuff. And then on top of that, he only had 2 drives. So that's why you can't really fault Justin Fields, because my thing is, like, you know, he only had 2 drives. And, you know, he couldn't get himself in rhythm, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to give him definitely a pass. And plus, again, it's only been preseason, and this is a new system for him as well, too. And it's just like, you know, he just got to get prepared for that as well, too, because, again, they're always questioning his passing game and stuff. So, you know, what they're going to do, Joe, you know, what they did to Zach Wilson, they're going to load up that box, you know, with 8 players and try to blitz him and stuff to try to get him in pressure to make a mistake and stuff. So we got to be prepared for that as well, too. So I just hope that the offensive coordinator, you know, could draw up something. And, you know, that's why I kind of really want to see Justin Fields out there to really, you know, get some drives as well, too. But I'm hearing that, you know, they're not going to play a lot of the starters this upcoming game on Friday. So
yeah,
we're going to see, man.
Yeah, and I think that your point, you know, that loading the box and saying, hey, you know, find the throw, beat us, that also lends an ear to what I'm saying about getting another wide receiver. Because if they load the box and they can, you know, lock down on Garrett Wilson, you know, play him tough, play him up close, nose to nose, and kind of lock him out. Unless he gets open, nobody else is getting open. So sometimes it's not even just about your quarterback finding the guy that's open. You got to be open. So if you're not open and they load 8 in the box and they're bringing the house at you, then what? You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So I just, you know, and as far as, you know, I don't think Jeremy Rucker is going to get cut. I think he's going to make the roster. It depends on how many tight ends they keep. Smart has been looking really good. He's made some plays. Yeah, of course, I think Mason Taylor is going to make the roster. Mason Taylor was actually, you know, out there, which is crazy to me. So that high ankle sprain must not be as bad as we thought it was going to be. He was looking all right. He actually had a catch in the game too. But this tight end spot is looking solid. I think he's going to be utilized as well. But man, let me tell you, like, there's some things they gotta clean up going forward. But I think not playing starters, they're gonna play some guys. They're not gonna play, you know, all their starters. But
I don't think we're gonna see Sauce.
Say it again.
I said I don't think we're gonna see Sauce.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, you're definitely not gonna see Sauce. I don't think Justin Fields is gonna be playing. So yeah, but you know, I guess they're just, you know, they've seen enough. But there's other guys that need work, and Corley, like you said as well, is definitely a guy I'm keeping my eyes on, bro. Because if he don't do something, he's gone. They're gonna cut him. Yeah. Like, he hasn't done anything. Anything. He didn't do anything last season. He didn't do anything this year or this off season. So I don't know. Right. Man. But listen, Val, I want to thank you for calling in. It's a phenomenal call from you. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you. All right, my friend?
Absolutely, Joe, man. And shout out to all the, you know, savages out there. And again, shout out to Blog Talk. You know what I'm saying? Witnesses over proof any day, man. So, you know, we're going to go with that and go Jets, man.
Go Jets. Get out of here, man. Salutes. Is this North Carolina?
Yep.
Yeah, hold on one second. Listen, Okay.
Okay.
A lot of things moving and shaking. Again, phenomenal call from Val there. There's a lot of things going on with the Jets right now. All right. And we got to have this discussion. So we got to get to my guy from North Carolina. Listen, for those of you that do not know, this man is a savage. Okay. He is in the building. Salutes to you, North Carolina. We haven't talked for a little bit, man. Good to see you in the
It's
building.
been a while.
Yes.
Yeah, I missed you the last time you went live. By the time I woke up, I dozed off and went to the laptop. I see you posted, and it was too late. I said, "Oh man, you were signing off." I said,
Yeah,
wow,
listen.
I'm excited. Hopefully, I can catch you the next time.
Yeah, no, listen, I understand. People got to take those naps, man. People out here working hard, but I thank you for watching and for joining us tonight as well. I want to start, man. I want to start with some trades. All right, the Jets traded for Briggs. They traded for Phillips, building that D-line depth, man. What are your thoughts about these moves?
I'm very happy about it because the unit's been thin since last year. With Joe Douglas parting ways with John Franklin Myers.
Yep,
he was a valuable piece along that D line. He was our Justin Tuck, our Joe Klecko. He could go inside, outside. He was very effective. Now I think that really hurt our defense overall too up front. Losing him. I mean, yeah, we lost Huff too, but that Franklin Myers one's really hurt. That versatility.
Yeah, and there were other guys too, that we've lost. Within that
right.
D-line depth, guys that we let, go on, and we picked up some other guys here, and they just didn't work out, and they were getting bullied. We saw that. Quentin Jefferson. There's a bunch of other guys that we had let go, and you saw the Jets' run defense really look very different last season than it had in the past.
That's
we
right.
were getting ran on last year, for real, like embarrassing at times. I always talk about it. The Bills game, that was embarrassing to watch them run on us like that.
It was a real drop-off last year from what they were in 2022 and 2023.
Mm-hmm.
We actually had one of the best defenses in the league the two consecutive years.
Mm-hmm.
2022 was kind of quietly creeping up on people, and then we really established themselves in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Their ability to rush the quarterback. I think only one D-line or rotation out there was right along with us. That's the Philadelphia Eagles. And it was us, those years consecutive. Then last year, Jermaine Johnson got hurt. I mean, whatever could have went wrong with this team. He went down with an ACL, and then they parted company with Franklin Myers. Didn't re-sign Bryce Huff. It was tough. It was really tough for me, man.
Yeah, it was. That was a tough situation. I don't know. The Jets let go of Huff. Again, there was a lot of rumors that came out that said it was Woody that didn't want Huff and that Joe wanted to sign. And then the things we went through with the pass rusher that we had got. But that's in the past now. That's said and done. He's gone. Huff is gone. It is what it is. But as we continue on, man, and we talk about, the trades, we got those two defensive tackles in. There's been a lot of rumors swirling that the Jets are going to be looking for a wide receiver, man. What are your thoughts about that? Is there a wide receiver that you want to see them go grab to put on the other side of Garrett Wilson?
I know Chris Olave's name was mentioned. What was it, only a couple of months ago? His name was floating around.
Yes, about it.
Nothing became of it. You remember that?
Yes, I do.
Him. That's right. I liked him coming out of college. Chris Olave was a smooth, very good route runner. I think he'd be a nice, quiet complement to Garrett Wilson. Because I'm figuring if Garrett's going to give us his 1,000 plus, if we get at least 800 yards from the other side, I think that's going to help to balance this receiving core a little bit more, and it'll really help us,
Yeah, I think that can help us. What are your thoughts about a guy like Romeo Doubs from the Packers? Do you think he would be a good move to bring into the building? Oh,
yeah. I think it's going to depend on what the trade compensation is. I don't see them part with anything higher than a third-round pick. How about you? I don't think they're going to part with a one, maybe not even a two, but I think they're going to look toward next year if the Justin Fields experiment doesn't work out,
Yeah, I don't think that I don't think they're going to part with anything higher than a third. Maybe a second, maybe depending, but more than likely no. Nothing bigger than a third. Unless it's like somebody.
The same thing.
Yeah, unless it's like somebody, and again, these things things happen all the time, but unless it's somebody just like off the charts, you know what I mean? Like, no, I don't think they'll give up, anything more than a third. I've been a big proponent of Terry McLaurin, And there's some people that are giving me pushback. Some people saying, no, Joe, we don't want him. Some people saying, yeah. If the Jets made a move for him, man, would you be excited about that?
Oh yeah, I think as long as they're good locker room guys and get along with the other teammates and just be professional and do what they're supposed to do and still have some productive years left in them, I say why not? You know, why not? I'm in favor of it. We definitely need another wide receiver in the building because where it looks like right now is just Garrett and everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah,
that's not a good situation. I look at what our core was last year. We had Devontae Adams, we had Williams, and we had Garrett and Conklin. We were loaded.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we'll see, but there's a lot of talk swirling. I'm just saying, like, we got to get a number two guy. I'm not saying the Jets have to blow the bag to do that. I'm not saying go crazy. And
no.
But I'm saying, listen.
They can't.
Yeah, if we're trying to truly compete, if we're trying to make the playoffs, if we're a team that's trying to build, when are we going to get the talent in enough to do that? You have to give your quarterback a solid wide receiver number 2. You have to do that, especially
but you know what?
When we're trying to figure out who Justin Fields is.
You know, I would think a third-round pick should be enough to get us a decent wideout, even if it's not a top-tier, caliber wideout. Somebody, decent enough, maybe 700 plus, maybe around between 700 and 800 yards, of offensive production. And I think that'll help Garrett a lot. Yeah. Something else that defenses have to account for. I know they're trying to develop Arian Smith, but he's a rookie. How much can you expect from him at least this year?
Exactly. So
and then Jason Taylor's son, he got injured.
Mason Taylor. Yep.
So that's kind of a hit on Mason Taylor hit on our passing game too.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah. Listen, in the chat, salutes to Savage. Philly 416 says, would the Jets be interested in Dotson? He means Jahan Dotson. I mean, I wouldn't mind it, but he's not my pick of the litter. He's the kind of guy that's kind of been disappointing.
So you figure he's probably declined or just slipped off that much. You don't think he'll be able to contribute very much, huh?
Yeah, he's not the guy that I want. I wouldn't be like dramatically upset. But if we're talking about really putting a guy on the other side of Garrett Wilson to pair, with him to really make something happen, I'm looking at a guy like, again, I'm going to keep saying it. Terry McLaurin is the guy that I want. And I understand the contract. I understand he's 29, but you can work something out with him. Again, we see teams do it every year, teams that want to win. Teams do it every year where they find a way to set up a contract where it does not hurt them greatly, and they can grab the guy that they want and bring him into the building. Okay? So,
that's the biggest key for Muji. He's going to have to make sure he carefully structure that contract. He's got some big transactions to make next year. You're looking at obviously Quincy Williams and the 2 offensive linemen, Vera Tucker and Simpson.
Yep.
He's got some decisions to make between those two, and then
Brees.
you got
and Brees
Jermaine Johnson and Brees Hall. So I think that's about five players with big names, major names we have to decide on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm thinking we're going to bring 3 of those guys back. If I had to put my money down, I'm thinking it's going to be Jermaine Johnson. Now the Simpson Vera Tucker thing is a little harder to call because even though we love Vera Tucker, Glenn did not draft Vera Tucker. And he might be more enamored or more impressed with Simpson, so you never know how that's going to go. And then the Quincy Williams thing,
Yeah, to me, Quincy should be, especially if he returns and looks like he did last season. I think he's a guy you keep. I look at Vera Tucker, and I'm not just saying that because I'm an SC guy, fight on, but I'm just saying we watch Vera Tucker play every position along the offensive line.
That's true.
And at a high level too. He was out there at left tackle. He was playing really well. So it's like why would you allow a guy to move, especially if he shows you that he's healthy this season? Why would you let a guy like that move on from you? A Swiss Army knife along your offensive line. John Simpson's been okay, but he's not like, blowing you away at guard. He's been all right.
Oh yeah.
So I think Vera Tucker's a guy you keep. I think, Quincy's a guy you keep. I think that those are guys, and again, Brees Hall, I think he's a guy you try to find a way, to keep into your building as well. I really do. Look,
now the Brees Hall thing, I don't know if you remember. I said this to you. I spoke to you maybe last year, and we started talking, and I told you that the Brees Hall contract was going to be the most complicated. So you know, the running back position within a decade has been badly devalued.
Yeah.
If this was like the 1980s or whatever, early 1990s, maybe Brees Hall probably might be retained, and maybe we would be willing to issue out a big contract. I'm not sure now.
Why?
I'm not very sure.
Can you tell me why? Why wouldn't you give Brees Hall like a contract that would complement the production that he's given us?
I think because teams don't trust, generally, even myself too, have some reluctance because running backs tend to age in dog years, unless they're Curtis Martin. He was like that rare exception that was good for a while until finally at the tail end, his knees just gave out on him. And he was forced into retirement. But most of these running backs now, that 5-year window is very important for them. Those are their most productive years. Not to say they can't still be decent running backs after that, but there is a noticeable decline or drop off, because of the position they play, all that physical contact, that hitting, and they tend to slow down. And when they age, they literally age in dog years. They age fast. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm kind of,
No, and I hear exactly what you're saying, and you're making, a solid point. But I think when you look at guys, and I always bring this up, a guy like Saquon Barkley, right? You look at the Giants; they look like fools right now, like complete fools.
Oh my God!
For not giving him a deal and keeping him a Giant, right? And there was questions surrounding Saquon. There was a lot, we don't think he's worth that. We don't think he's worth this. Listen, guys that have elite talents like Brees Hall. And we've seen the elite ability from him, right? Before he went down,
that's true.
Before he went down, he was carrying the Jets' offense before he got that injury. He was literally carrying the Jets' offense.
He was.
Then he came back and showed us again, even though he was recovering from the injury, like, I'm still the best back on this team. Like, he came back and showed us. He was supposed to be on a pitch count, and we took him off that pitch count. I remember that. He's on a pitch count. You took him off the pitch count. He was still roaring and doing his thing.
That's the unfortunate part about current NFL because of the salary cap. The Cowboys, I remember the Cowboys and the Buffalo Bills were some of the last teams that I remember that was able to stockpile all that talent before the salary cap. Teams like that now, imagine having to make a decision. Obviously, you can keep Jim Kelly. He's the quarterback. Make a decision between Andre Reed and Thurman Thomas. And you can't keep both of them because of the salary cap, you know. Well, that's the situation we're staring at,
Yeah. And I mean, I just look at it like if Brees comes out this season, right, after having, the offense as a whole, the Jets offense as a whole had an off year. I mean, let's be serious. We had Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, Brees Hall, Garrett Wilson fully healthy and couldn't score. There's something wrong here, like something really wrong. Yeah. And I don't think it was the players. The coaching was terrible. Like the offensive coaching was terrible. But again, we've seen that in the past, right? Adam Gase had this offense terrible as well, right? Some coaching can have that big of an effect on your team. And I think that if he comes out this year in this offense that is really run focused, and we know he's going to get a lot of targets in the passing game as well. He might be top 3 on the Jets in targets, no lie, because we don't have a number 2 wide receiver. And he shows out this season, it's going to be tough because you're going to have to give him a deal, bro. Because if you don't give Brees Hall a deal, you're hurting your football team. Brees Hall is one of our only proven offensive weapons that we have. Outside of Garrett Wilson, who's the proven offensive weapon here with the Jets? If you take Brees Hall off this team, who else is there?
The only weapons we had like that, they're gone. That's Devontae Adams.
Gone. And I remember
Williams
games where
all of them gone.
I remember games where Devontae Adams didn't have a catch in the second half of games, and he was one of our big weapons. You know what I'm saying? So it's I understand. And again, I'm a Jets fan myself. I understand why some Jets fans talk about trading him. I understand the whole talk about running backs and it's a devalue. I get it, but there's elite guys that have those type of elite abilities that once they show up, you don't get rid of them, bro, because they're more than a running back, right? I look at Saquon Barkley and I say that guy's more than a running back. He's literally one of the sole reasons why the Eagles got into a Super Bowl. and have won.
Yeah.
Like,
so I
he's
guess
more than a
this,
running
I
back. Guys like
this
Christian
then,
McCaffrey more than
so
a running
let's
back.
say Brees Hall has a great season, which we all want him to do. Then what do we do with Jermaine Johnson?
You try to
do
work
we
it out.
Tag him.
You could tag him.
Some kind of franchise tag.
Yeah,
or?
you can tag him. You try to work it out. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
We see teams all the time that people say, well, they're up against the cap. They don't have enough money, and they always find a way to sign their guys. Why can't the Jets do that?
That's right.
I watch the Saints do it every year.
True.
I watch people tell me
the
Saints are finished. The Saints don't have enough money. The Saints, their cap situation is screwed, and they go sign two or three of the top free agents, and they roll right into the season and do what they do. Every year,
Yeah,
I watch them do that. I watch the Chiefs do it too. Oh, the Chiefs supposed to have problems here. They're not going to get this guy. They sign one or two guys and go on about their business.
That's
right?
true. There's something about them. They're very unique. The Chiefs. Like they just keep it chugging, keep winning.
Exactly.
Something like what we're seeing in our own division now with the Buffalo Bills. They lost Stephon Diggs.
Yep.
We thought they were supposed to really hurt Josh Allen without Stephon Diggs.
Yep.
And all of a sudden they just found a way to plug in another receiver, kept right on rolling, going to title games and all.
So I'm just looking at
something to be said for a great organization.
Exactly. I'm just looking at the situation. I'm saying, hey, if now it's different if you got a guy that doesn't want to be on your squad, but you got guys that want to be here. You find a way to get those guys that want to be here, guys that are cornerstones. You find a way to keep them Jets. That's what you do.
Well, I see hoping what Moogie did with obviously Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson. It's going to be interesting to see what he does with this list of names, those 5 names that I spoke of, our big 5, what he does with them. Simpson, Vera Tucker, Brees, Jermaine Johnson, and Quincy Williams. And see how he pulls this off. He be the next Houdini. He can pull that off and bring all 5 of them back, but I doubt it.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm thinking it's going to be 3, but I'm hoping it'll be more than 3. I'm hoping at least 4 to 5. So you never know.
We'll see. And again, and I think a lot of the talk surrounding Jermaine Johnson really depends on the year that he has when he comes back this season, right? We got to remember he's coming back off of an injury. So this year is kind of a building year, and then next year is when I think we'll see Jermaine Johnson more back to himself, just the same way as Brees Hall,
It takes a year, over a year to recover. The first year just to make it back on the field, and then the second year to return to form. Yeah, it does take time. Return to form, because this is a major injury. Talking about an ACL, MCL, or Achilles tendon.
Yep. And that's why I think again he could probably end up getting franchised, but we'll see as we continue forward. Yeah. So North Carolina, I want to get your thoughts on this, man. I know you watched that Jets game against the Giants, man. There's been a lot of questions surrounding Justin Fields. A lot of people saying he's not taking enough deep shots. They're wondering if he's the guy. Some Jets fans are in full panic mode. What are your thoughts about what you've seen from him so far, and are you greatly concerned about him being able to be at the helm of this offense?
I have to say, based on the Giant performance, I am concerned. I want to see him look a little stronger, even though I know the Giants have a great D-line, great pass rush. So you have to give them some credit for that. They have an excellent pass rush. So it was going to be a rough night, kind of tough. And Justin Fields had to get the ball out quickly, be very decisive. He won't have that opportunity to sit back there and hold the ball, But I'm ready to get off this quarterback carousel. I've been a Jet fan over 40 years. Richard Todd, Ken O'Brien, Benny Testaverde, and even some notable names I missed that I didn't mention. And I'm ready to get off this carousel. And I'm ready to be like a normal franchise and have a quarterback for at least 10 years. I think a decade is a good amount of time, and then try to get to some playoff games, maybe back to the title game and sign up to a Super Bowl. I'm ready to get off this, this carousel. I'm really rooting for Justin Fields. I liked him coming out of college. I watched his performance against Clemson. It won me over. It blew me away. I said, man, this kid is tough. He's got a lot of guts, and he managed to pull this game out even though he was injured against, at the time, the Golden Boy, Trevor Lawrence, who was the number 1 pick in the draft. Everybody wanted him. I really liked Justin Fields. I only really got on the Garrett Wilson bandwagon, I guess, the last few weeks, like a lot of other people did. When the talk started heating up about the Jets, deciding to take Zach Wilson with the number 2 pick, and that rumor had been strongly, out there about that, what the Jets were going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't have been mad if they would have took Justin Fields, because I just thought about that Clemson performance and what he did for the Ohio State program, and I was just so impressed. The way he carried himself and the way he performed. He kind of looked like, in a way, kind of like a young Russell Wilson, but just a bigger version, more physical and bigger and he's more athletic and dangerous. The ability to, throw that deep ball one after the other and be, right on time with those throws, accurate, was very impressive. So it's going to be something to see what he does, see what our new OC and offensive coordinator can do with him. And we just have to hope for the best, keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Because if he can show that he's our quarterback, to me, I'm thinking we need to win 8 games. If he can win me 8 games, beat Pittsburgh opening week, even if we lose a couple of games after that, bounce back, regain his footing, and get us to 8 wins, he might be our quarterback going forward.
Yes. Yeah. And that's why, again, I've been so big on, trying to grab a legitimate number 2, grabbing another legitimate wide receiver, because I think he's on a 2-year deal. So it's like we need to figure out who this guy is. Like, I need to know.
Oh yeah.
Because if we need to move on
you spoke about it the other week. I remember watching your podcast. You spoke about that and about them need another wide receiver. You're right.
Like, I need to know.
You're right. They do need another one.
You talked about getting off that quarterback carousel. Let's say that Justin Fields is our Ryan Tannehill. I need to know, bruh.
Yeah.
I need to know, because if he's the guy that we're all hoping that he turns into, a guy that can rehabilitate himself here, which he's shown, last year with the Steelers, he showed some things. If he can come here and show that he can be that guy consistently and he can win us games, and he doesn't even have to be, the second coming of Joe Montana. I just need him to be able to be solid and hold the fort. You can win with quarterbacks like that. Guys that aren't gonna take you out of a game, keep you in a game, and put you in positions to win games, right? That's a franchise quarterback in this league right now. Real talk. Like that's who they are. You don't have to be Patrick Mahomes. You can be a solid quarterback in this league and get paid.
Patrick Mahomes and now Josh Allen are very rare.
You don't always have to have those type of guys to win. You need a guy that's going to put you in good positions, not destroy your offense, and keep you in solid condition throughout the game. That's what you can consider a franchise quarterback these days in the NFL. So if he can show us that he can be that guy for the next couple of years, then we can make a decision on him and continue to move forward as well. But we've got to give him enough weapons to show us that. Because if we don't,
no doubt about it,
we're in big trouble. You feel me? And then again,
then
you don't have a question. Well, was it the weapons or was it Justin? Or was it Justin or was it the weapons? Like I'm done with the questions. I need all my questions answered, and I need to move forward here, not play around. So
that's right.
Give me your final thoughts on that, and I also want to get your thoughts. My final question for you is the Eagles game the Jets have coming up. Is there a player that you're keeping your eyes on that needs to have a good performance to really have a chance to make this roster?
You're absolutely right on some key points you made about getting enough weapons on this team so we can really fully evaluate Justin Fields and see if he is the guy. You're absolutely correct. I'm on board with that 100%. And as we speak, at least based on reports that are out now, the Jets are working on something. So they're probably most likely going to pick up one or the other of these names you mentioned. And I think they're going to try to remedy that and go forward this season and put together a bunch more competitive product and get a full and real true evaluation of Justin Fields. Now, as for the Eagles preseason game, to me, it's Malachi Courtney. Malachi Courtney needs to show that he can make the transition to the NFL and play. This is a guy that had a world of physical talent. Yeah, he was raw. He wasn't a polished route runner, which I'm kind of iffy on, selecting a guy that's not a polished route runner, unless your receiving core is loaded, and then you can kind of afford to kind of fool around with a gadget guy, But to me, he falls out of line with Jets history. When I was coming up, you had cats like Kurt Sohn, Bruce Harper, that was so versatile. They can do everything. They were excellent on special teams as return men. They were contributing to the offense. Even Bobby Humphrey, he was like a cornerback. I think he was like a 3 or 4, number 4 corner / kick returner. He was a top kick returner. I'm kind of curious as why isn't Malachi Courtney along that same line, a guy that even if he kind of get off to a slow start, getting on the field offensively, why isn't he returning kicks, returning punts? Or has he shown any inclination toward that or any ability to do that?
Man, oh man, I mean, he's struggling. Just there's people that have asked that question. I know. I think in the past he has done that before. I think during the regular season, maybe. I think I remember seeing him back there. But he's struggling to just get on the field as a wide receiver, right? We got a guy. Xavier Gibson is the guy that we've seen not only give us something in special teams, but also give us a little bit at wide receiver. Corley's not giving us anything.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't give us nothing last year.
He's not good.
He dropped the ball before he even got into the end zone on a walk-in touchdown. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that he dropped the ball. Something bad habit he formed in college. He got used to doing it. This time he messed up and did it before he took that step into the end zone.
Yeah.
And they ruled it a fumble.
Yeah.
And that kind of messed up his rookie campaign, too. He never recovered from it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so I'm looking at him as well, like you just said, too. He's a guy that a lot of people have been talking about, and I've said it. Like, if he don't do something this offseason, I think he's going to get cut. He was not drafted by Aaron Glenn. I understand talking about the rough route running, but it is what it is at the end of the day. Like, you either improve or you be on the move. Like, that's how it goes in this league.
This. As much a supporter I had been of Joe Douglas, I would say about this Malachi Courtley pick.
Yeah.
If they knew he was a raw product and he would take time to develop, if he could not contribute as a return man, I don't know if they had any private workouts or what. If he could not contribute as a kick or punt return man, they should not have drafted him.
Yeah. That
because the Jet history is a rich history. Chad Morton, Justin Miller, Joe McKnight, guys that would contribute a little bit on offense, but really did their best work on special teams. Even when I was coming up, when I was a teenager, I remember Bobby Humphrey. He was excellent. Bruce Harper, he lost to the ACL, his knee, his career. Kurt Stone. The names go on and on and on. We have a rich history. I'm surprised that Malachi Courtley hasn't broken through, at least in that area, to contribute to this team.
Yeah, and that is, you bring up a great point. That is a hit on Joe Douglas because everybody and their mama knew that Malachi Corley was not a great route runner, and if you did not have a plan to develop this guy and get him on the field year one, because that's what the deal was. We all knew whoever they took had to produce year one, or we were going to be in some trouble.
That's right.
If you did not have a plan in place to better him,
when the pick was announced,
you
I was
set him
kind
up
of
for
surprised.
failure.
We had Aaron Rodgers. I thought they would go for a more polished guy, guy that can get on the same page with Aaron, run routes, who's more seasoned, more polished in that area coming out of college. And you do have some prospects that are pretty good, pretty good route running and not raw, raw products like Courtley is,
Yeah, so that's a knock on Joe Douglas, and we'll see what happens with Courtley. Listen, North Carolina, this has been a phenomenal call from you, okay? Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, man. It's been a minute.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk again, and you take care, Joe.
Absolutely. Same to you. Have a good one. Listen, man, North Carolina calling in with takes, okay? Calling in with takes. We're going to get back to these lines. We're coming to you next, Max, all right? Listen, man, a lot of things moving and shaking with the Jets right now. A lot of things moving and shaking with the Jets, and we're going to see what happens, I know there's a lot of talk about them, setting up to make a move for a wide receiver, and I'm hoping that they do just that. Max, are you on the line, man?
Yes, I am on the line. Yeah.
Yo, salutes, Max. For those of you that do not know Max, he's a savage. He's a savage, man. Max, salutes. This has been a crazy show, Max. A lot of people throwing takes around left and right. I'm going to go right here with you. Jets have made some moves, man. Brought in Briggs and Phillips, 2 D tackles to bolster up that defensive line depth. What are your thoughts about it, man?
So I think it's a very good move. We got to add more depth to defense. Our run defense was horrible last year. Just my thoughts on it.
Yeah, it was. It was rough. Getting that depth in here is going to help us. What are your thoughts about the rumors that the Jets are looking to trade for a wide receiver? Is there a guy out there that you want? And if so, who is it?
I don't know the Tyler McLaurin deal is happening, but I would really want Tyler McLaurin off the market. I just think it can't be. I don't know if it's going to happen, but if it doesn't happen, Alex Pierce. There's a rumor about Alex Pierce. He could be good. And then the Amari Cooper deal. I don't know how Amari Cooper isn't signed yet. I think he's a very good wide receiver too. And he was really good with Dallas. I understand he's been bad with the Browns, but Deshaun Watson is the worst quarterback in the National Football League. And all the other quarterbacks that the Browns played, and then in Buffalo, he only played like half the season. So I think Amari Cooper could be a really good wide receiver too, and a great mentor to the younger guys.
Yeah. And Amari Cooper's a free agent too. You don't have to give up any capital to grab him. Yo, speaking of that, if the Jets do make a trade for McLaurin, what is the most you think they should give up, man?
I don't know. I think maybe like a round one. I don't even know. I had a proposal about Breece Hall, but I wouldn't trade Breece Hall. Trust me.
Yeah.
That was my original proposal, but I don't know. A lot of these players, they'll just trade Breece. I mean, Breece is a good running back. My proposal is we get Terry McLaurin, but then the Commanders get Breece Hall. But you think about it, the Commanders already have Austin Eckler as a running back, and they wouldn't want to get a running back whose contract is going to expire in a year.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's just about that either. The talent that you give up with Breece Hall, you're trying to better your football team and grow. You know, you're trying to add weapons. You're not trying to get rid of, big weapons, to grab. Of course, I love McLaurin in the building as well, but I want to keep Breece and add McLaurin. I don't want to lose Breece and then add McLaurin because I want to bolster the weapons along my offense. But that's my thoughts on that. So as we continue forward, man, a lot of talk about the Jets and what we saw against the Giants. What were your thoughts about the sloppy performance, man?
So I'm a little concerned about Justin Fields, and I understand I probably was on like 10 Jet shows, also on Jake Asman shows, on Matt O'Leary show. Talking about the sloppy performance. Justin Fields didn't play good. 1 out of 5 passing. I mean, I am a little concerned because it shouldn't have. I understand it's preseason, but if Justin Fields plays like this in the regular season, we will not be a good team.
Yeah.
If Justin Fields plays bad, but it's preseason. I'd rather players make mistakes in preseason than during the regular season.
Yeah. I'm looking at it. I'm saying, it's preseason. I'm not panicking, but there's some things that need to be cleaned up. And I'm hoping, as we continue to roll, get into the season, that they'll be able to clean those things up. Now, as we continue forward, man, we got this upcoming game against the Eagles, bruh. What is a player that you're looking at, that you're trying to keep your eyes on here, that you think has to have a solid performance to really make a chance, or to really have a chance to make this roster?
So these are the players. I was on a ton of Jets calling shows. I was on Jake's show. I was on Connor Long's show. I was talking about this was like probably every show I was on. We were talking about 3 players I want to see. So the players, I want to see Arian Smith with the ones. I feel like Arian Smith has potential. And then I want to see Quentin Skinner. I think he had a really nice touchdown grab in the Giants game. And then for defense, Jay Tafali, he played really good against the Packers. They didn't play good against the Giants. I didn't think he played good. And then I want to see a little bit A.Z. Thomas. I get it, he's hurt, but if he's back, and then I want to see a little bit Andre Cisco, and then I think he's a good safety. That's my thoughts on it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I think a lot of those guys are going to make it, but a lot of people are talking about Malachi Corley being a guy, they want to keep their eyes on as well to make this roster, or to have a chance to make the roster. He's going to have to do something, but if he doesn't, he's up out of here. But, yeah, seeing Aaron with the ones, that would be great as well. But I think he's a guy that's going to make this roster for sure, along with a host of other guys you said. Listen, Max, I want to thank you for calling in, man. Phenomenal call from you, all right?
Sounds good.
All right, you have a good one. Listen, Max calling in, giving us some takes, giving us what he's got. All right. Listen, it's been a hot show. All right? It's been a hot one, baby. Okay? Me personally, I'm looking at the Eagles, man. This upcoming game, again, there's not going to be a lot of starters playing. I know they're going to have some guys out there. I definitely want to take a look at Arian Smith and see what he's going to do. Hopefully they put him in early. Hopefully they are going to put him in early and we see what's going on. Salutes to Glenn Jones in the building. Glenn Jones says, I think our O-line isn't as good as we think, and Fields will be running for his life. I feel everyone will stack the box for the run, and our passing game will be in major trouble all season, sadly. Okay, look, I respect it. I respect people's takes, man. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Because if the Jets are running the football as effectively as I believe and everyone else does, that they will be running the football really solidly, I think what we'll see is a lot of play action passes. I don't think that Justin Fields is going to be that bad throwing the football. I just don't. Because he had a great game against the Packers, right? really good preseason game against the Packers. Just chucking the ball, getting the ball out of his hands quickly. Just had a rough game against the Giants. Rough preseason game. But we'll see. I think Justin Fields has the ability and the talent. I think he's solid from the pocket. Just think, hey, it's a week-to-week league. And sometimes you come out and, you get your keister beat a little bit, okay? But I think he'll be able to rebound. There's a lot of questions about our offensive line. As long as they can gel, again, this preseason, I think they'll be able to gel, and I think our offensive line will be okay. I don't think we'll be the best offensive line in the league. I think a lot of people saying that are going to, I've told people to pump their brakes on that because a big, I want to say question mark, but not question mark. I want to say a big question mark would be Mimbu on that tackle spot. And not question mark like he doesn't have the talent. He's really good. But again, he's a rookie. So there's things at this level that he's going to see that he hadn't seen in college. Also, there's defensive coordinators that know what time it is. They're going to go after him. They're going to put guys on that side that Mimbu's on constantly. They're going to stack that side and say, show us that you can beat us, rookie. Show us that you can hold the fort. That's what they're going to do. So I think Mimbu's going to have a good season. I think he's going to be solid. But again, that's a big part of the offensive line being successful and being one of the top units in the league. So I think we'll be solid, though. I think the Jets will be able to run the football very effectively, and I think everything will play off of that. But I do think that Justin Fields will be able to navigate throwing the football this season. I don't think we'll I think that if teams are going to, stack the box, that he's going to be able to make them pay for it. And I also think that we have the offensive coordinator in Tanner Engelstrand that's going to be able to call us out of those issues as well, right? If he sees that things are going a certain way, if he sees guys stacking the box, he's going to be able to make an adjustment so that doesn't get us eaten up all day. Because that was a big issue last season. I think a lot of people forget that. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers wasn't the best, but the whole Jets offense was hindered last year by the awful offensive play calling, the lack of adjustments, the lack of game planning, just a lack of everything, okay? But, yeah, I respect your take, Glenn. Salutes, okay? GVH in the building as well. He says, if McDonald balls out, he's up for early payment like Sauce and Garrett got. Will was drafted at age 24, I think, and JJ drafted at 23 or 24 as well, I think. Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. Will McDonald turned out to be pretty good. I told y'all. Will McDonald, and I'm expecting, me personally, I think he gets into the teens. 13, 14, 15 sacks. That's what I'm thinking. Okay? He had, 10.5 last season? Led the New York Jets in sacks. I'm just saying, that boy balling. We'll see. All right. GVH also says Olave would be dope. He's going back to the wide receiver discussion. Olave would be dope, but I think health concerns is an issue and pay. He has concussion issues, and it makes him think of Tune or Corbett, Derek Carr and his hospital balls. Yeah. It's rough out there. It's rough out there. But, yeah, he does have, he's been concussed. So we'll see what happens going forward. But salutes to the Savages in the chat again. I do come to y'all in between calls, okay? Yeah, I'm looking at this upcoming Jets game against the Eagles, and I'm saying Arian Smith, I definitely want to see him with the one, see what he does. Brandon Smith as well. I want to see him continue to go out there and be given an opportunity. That is a guy that I think is actually going to end up making the roster. Him and Tyler Johnson are guys that I think end up really pushing and end up making this roster. Tyler Johnson's making plays, bro. He's been making plays. And so is Brandon Smith. He's been making plays too. So we'll see. We'll see what's going on with this Jets situation, man. Because boy, oh boy, those two guys have been really putting it on the line and playing pretty well this preseason. They've been doing their things. And I think if the Jets cut them, I don't know. I don't know if all these teams pass on them and they end up getting put on the practice squad. So we'll see. I also want to see Edwards as well. In this upcoming game, I want him to be given another chance. He got some burn, but it was late. It was really late in the game. So I want to see what he's going to bring to the table. I want them to give him some significant carries and let him run. And I want to see if Malachi Corley's going to do something, you know. And again, this backup quarterback position battle is heating up. Martinez versus Cook. I want to see what's up there, because I really think if Tyrod is not ready, if he's not fully prepared after that knee scope to start the season, one of those guys can end up being the New York Jets backup quarterback game one, okay, making that roster. So I think that that's big. Defensively, again, I want to see Jay Tufele out there, fight on, see what's going on with him. And, you know, I want to see some of these backup corners too. So we'll see what happens, you know, as the Jets continue on, man. Whew. This has been quite an off season. And then we got those cuts coming up immediately. I think those cuts are like a couple of days after the game. And they got to get it cracking. They got to figure out who's the guy they need and who's the guy, you know, they're going to move on from, you know. So we're going to see what's up with that. So we're going to close out the show. This has been a hot show, a lot of callers. I want to thank all the callers and everybody that watched. Salutes to all the savages in the chat. Man, listen, I am the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with you folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show. I'm also on Twitter as well, okay? Go on over to Twitter, okay? Type in @The Long Beach Joe, @The Long Beach Joe on Twitter, all right? Go ahead and follow me. I'll follow you right back. And if you want to troll me, there's no issues. I'm the troller that lives under the bridge, and I will have my Vera Tucker jersey on at all times. At all times, okay? Hopefully the Jets are able to get a deal done with him. I think he's going to have a very solid season this upcoming season. All right. So, yeah, Vera Tucker, you know what I'm saying, will be down there and we'll be trolling. Okay. So come on by. I'm also on YouTube as well. Come on over to YouTube. Type in Long Beach Joe Jets. Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. All right. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so when I post content, you'll be in the know. All right. If you want to troll me, get in those comments and troll me. And I'll go back and forth with you. And as always, people, when you see me in person, because you will see me in person, I'll be outside. Okay? You will. I don't run. I don't hide. I'll be outside. Okay? When you see me in person, it is arms open, chest out, free hugs for everyone. Okay? Free hugs for everyone. The hugs will cost you absolutely nothing. I want to thank you folks for watching, listening, commenting, any way that you interact with the show. Hitting the thumbs up button, subscribing, any way that you interact with the show, okay? I want to thank you folks for, okay? Without you people, I'm absolutely nothing. Thank you for taking the times out of your day, okay, to hit your boy up, to get involved with the show, and talk to me. So until the next show, you folks have a good one. Peace. Hold on one second, folks. Pow. Okay, I'm back. Listen, people, all right? I want to thank everybody for listening. For those of you that do not know, we do this show year-round, okay? We do this show year-round. Exclamation point links, okay? That's the link tree. My link tree has links to all of my content, okay? Please check it out. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell. Give the video and streams a thumbs up if you haven't already, all right? Excuse me. Get involved with everything that I'm doing. I have a reaction channel on there as well. Please check that out. I'll have more reactions at some point coming up soon. Schedule is wild, okay? But we'll get back to that. We have a lot of fun here. We watch live games together throughout the season when my schedule allows. And we do live radio shows directly after the games. So please get involved with all of that. I'll let y'all know when we're doing our live watch along. I'm not going to be able to do this upcoming game as of now because of my schedule, but during the season, we'll definitely be watching games together and having fun. And we do these shows at least once a week, okay? At least once a week, we'll do the show. If you follow me across my social media, Again, if you subscribe, it's announced way before I do the show that I'm doing the show, and we take live call-ins. As of now, this is the way. As you see the number for you to call into the show, that may change in the future. We'll figure that out. But as of now, this is the number, all right, to call in. So when you call in, if I miss your call, I will call you back, okay? No worries, okay? I'll get right back to you. Here's the deal. When you call in, please make sure you have a good phone, okay? Please make sure your phone's good, all right? If your phone's all over the place and I can't hear you, my audience can't hear you, then there's nothing I can do, okay? I'm going to have to move on from you. Don't call into my show cursing, all right, because I'll get you up out of here. I will hang up on you, okay, especially if you keep doing it. Generally, I give people a warning, but if it's bad enough, like to where the first one comes out and I'm not feeling you, I'm not feeling it, I'm getting up out of here. Pause. If I'm not feeling what you're saying, I'm getting you up out of here, okay? Don't call in here talking crazy, okay? Don't do that because this is YouTube, okay? And I love YouTube, all right? Also, this is a family show. We have young people that listen to me. We have older people that listen to me. They don't want to hear that, all right? And again, this is YouTube. I love YouTube, okay? So, yeah, please get involved. Please make sure you have a good phone. Don't call me from a phone you found in a Home Depot dumpster, okay? Make sure that your phone line's good and you have a good connection. Also, people call in with those like headsets, so it like echoes. Don't call in with them headsets either. You know, take them things off and talk to you through your phone, okay? Unless your headsets can handle it, talk regularly through your phone, all right? If your sound is all over the place, I'll tell you, you know, to take it off and move forward. But, you know, we need to be able to hear you correctly. Okay. So, yeah, man, like we have a lot of fun here. Please get involved with everything that I'm doing. We game sometime here too. I'll get back to that eventually at some point. But yeah, we play video games. So if you see that, come on in and check out what I'm doing here. All right. And we have a lot of fun here. So please get involved with everything that we're doing. And again, we watch games together, and after the games, we do shows. Now, that's if the game isn't too late, okay? And again, even on those shows, don't call in here cursing, okay? Don't do that. Yeah, the Jets will take you there. I understand, but just don't call in here cursing. And I know my audience is, you know, very intelligent. They don't have to, you know, curse to get their point across. But I'll just, you know, put that out there for, you know, people that may be tuning in for the first time, okay? Salutes to all the savages in the chat, man. Glenn Jones, salutes and respect to you. Max, salutes. GVH, salutes. Philly 416, salutes. Christopher Phillips, good to see you in the building. Mike D, always good to see you, man. Outlaw, okay, salutes. ETC, salutes. Respect to you. Zeb's, good to see you in the building. All right. So I want to thank everybody for watching, man. I got to get out of here because my schedule is wild. Listen, folks, be safe, okay? Be safe out here. All right, the world is crazy. It's wild. Don't ask me why, okay, because I don't know why it's getting so wild, but it is wild, okay? Be safe out here, folks, okay? Sit down with your friends, your family, eat some good food, have a good meal. Let the people that you love know that you love them, okay? It's important in my life. I hope it's important to you and yours because you never know. Man, you never know, all right? So let those people know what time it is, all right? So until the next show, we'll be having one next week for sure. Hey, y'all, be safe, man, and have a